What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. We in the house. That's even darker, man. Gotta lighten it up a little bit, Johnson. A little bit better. Jesus Christ. I don't know what I got going on over here, man. Fun times. So, how y'all doing? How's everybody doing? We got a little bit like. How's everybody doing? We got some shadows. All right. My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show on a Friday. Glad you can make it back. Glad you can make it back. My people, my people, my people. Man. Yeah, let me put the banners up, man. Let me do this. Let me do this, man. Gosh. What are you doing, Tim Black? All right, guys. So look, this is it. This is it, man. Man, I'm feeling pumped up, man. I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good. Hope everybody's doing well. This is the Tim Black Show, and we do this every day at 9:30 to 10 o'clock, except for Saturdays. Sometimes we have special shows. I had a special show earlier today. Had the one and only Dr. Cornell West on the show. We chopped it up, and it was a great conversation. And now we're back about an hour later to do the Tim Black Show. And this is, it's gonna be a burn down the house show. I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't know, man. It's like they set it up for me so well. That's one thing about this business. They never leave you without something to talk about. So guys, look, check it out. If you're new to the show, I want to give it up to my people on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. My man Buck Billy's in the comment section. Buck, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Buck is resilient. He done come through. Buck has come through again. And my people, I see I got my crew in here. And look, Black Mom is in the house. She's back. Tobias, what's up, brother? You guys didn't miss anything. You didn't miss a thing. It's still on the channel. Don't forget Dr. West. Check out his video. But Velator, thank you for being here. Tim Black's Wolfpack. People that, thank you for keeping the show going, guys. I mean, I appreciate y'all. People that support the show, you're the reason why we're able to do the show. And I want to thank you for your support. Anybody who wants to support, go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. You can always join us here as well on YouTube. Sharon Brown, what's up, Sharon Brown? Sharon Brown, you sent me an email. Thank you. I appreciate you, Sharon. What else? Oh, Twitter and Facebook. Twitter and Facebook, I'm gonna need you to come on over and hit the like button. That's all. Hey, you want to be on Facebook? Okay. I'd rather you didn't, but come on over to YouTube, hit the like button, because the YouTube is where it counts for me. But I don't want to stop putting the show over. I want the show to be everywhere for everybody to be able to get it. But I need you to come on over, hit the like button. We're trying to get to 700. That's crazy for a Friday, but I don't know. I'm crazy like a fox. So something about that YouTube algorithm. All right, guys. Twitter. Come on, Twitter. My Twitter people. Come on over Twitter, hit the like button on the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. Man. What to do? What to do? All right, folks. I got a couple news stories I want to get to. We do U.S. politics here. That's what the channel's about. We do breaking news as well, and it's all rooted in Black culture. We do that. We hold that down. Man, this, I want to say, man, it's so funny, man. Dr. West is like, I'll be watching the show, Tim Black, man. Don't let him get to you. Don't let him get to you, my brother. Stay strong, brother. And that's what I like about Dr. West, man. He's a real one. Him and Senator Nina Turner, they hit me from time to time, let me know they still watch the show. Shout out to Nina Turner as well. My sister. She's been doing her thing. And it's great for her to get those platforms, those opportunities to say what most people are not saying on those platforms. Yeah. So, Tim Black, the progressives are coming by to complain. Hey, man, look. I guess a hit dog hollers, right? A hit dog will holler. Coming back. No, Tim, we didn't stop watching you because of that. We stopped watching you because shut up. Why are you here? I'm horrible, remember? I'm the horrible guy. Everyone has everyone has an arc. And I think sometimes, let me be serious, guys. Everybody's not always on the same page at the same time. And since we don't know those people, or since we can't be in people's mind, we always assign a negative reason behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do it in regular relationships. Someone's late. If someone's late for a date or late to do something that you agreed for them to do, you both agreed, we usually assign, that they don't care about us or that they had something better to do, and our concerns weren't their concerns. When it could be a whole host of reasons why they did not make it on time or whatever, We're not in their minds to know what happened. But that's what we do, man. We form judgments in our minds about other people. And I guess that's the only place you can form a judgment is in your mind. Same thing goes to politics, man. When these people were stuck on, when some people were stuck on staying with the Democratic Party, other people had already moved on. And they were looking at the people that were stuck as, being sellouts or being, lame or didn't know, didn't do research. But they themselves were at that point at one time. It didn't come out your mother knowing about how bad our system was. It took time. It takes time to learn things. It takes time to get up to speed. So I know it's hard to do, and I struggle. Don't get me twisted. I struggle. We got to let people be human, and give people some grace. And then we also got to give them the business too. So that's why I like going after the politicians. That's why I like going after the corporate media, because they know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, the average voter may not know everything. But if you're a politician, you know how the system works. You're in it. You can't pretend not to know what's going on. Now, maybe your first time doing something, you can say, hey, I had no idea. But if you get reelected in our system, believe me, you get up to speed real quick. You can't come to me with that I didn't know what's going on stuff. If you didn't know what's going on, you wouldn't have got reelected. So, but I think sometimes we're too hard on each other. You know what I'm saying? And I've been hard on people probably when I shouldn't have been, and people damn sure been hard on me when they shouldn't have been. They didn't say, oh, maybe Tim doesn't think this way because Tim doesn't know what I know. Or maybe Tim is not willing to accept it's the end of the world. Because maybe, guys, I don't know if you noticed or not, it really is. I'm sorry to say that. But our system is so corrupt, man, it's like, it's all or nothing. It's all, man, it's so corrupt, it's so backwards. Okay, for instance, let's start the show, guys. Let's go. I'd rather just do a story and show you how corrupt our system is. Okay, so I wake up this morning and I'm doing my recognizance, my homework, because I got a show to do tonight. So I'm going through, I'm like, what's the talk of the day? What's making the airwaves? What's trending? What's happening? What can I tell my people? What's the news for the day? And I kept seeing these people talk about Donald Trump and Liz Cheney. And they're saying how Donald Trump said that Liz Cheney should be taken out in front of a firing squad. Yeah, they said Donald Trump said Liz Cheney should be put in front of a firing squad. And I said, what? Now, about 8 years ago, I would have heard that and been like, oh, what? That's crazy. I got to report this. And I would have took out my damn webcam, and I'd have went to CNN or MSNBC, and I'd have been reporting it. I'd have been like, hey, I got to get this story out there. I got to be one of the people talking about it, how horrible this is. And I'd jump out there and I'd be like, hey, welcome to the Sim Black Show. Man, can you believe what Donald Trump said? Donald Trump said that Liz Cheney, and look, let me play a clip for you of what Donald Trump said today. And I play the clip. And then I'll start talking about it, and I would run down all the things that Donald Trump said, how horrible it was. I can't believe Donald Trump said that. And what kind of a man is this running for president? And I would have been honest. That's how I felt. That's what I read. It's in CNN. It's in MSNBC. It's in CBS. It's in ABC. It's everywhere. It's what he said. And they're going to have a look, and I'm playing their clip. And like I said, that was 8 years ago. And I would have been wrong. I would have been wrong if I did that because it's BS. Yeah, man, it's election season. And it doesn't even matter if it's election season, really. They lie about Trump all the time. But see, that was 8 years ago. So now I know when I saw that today, I said, must be more to the story. Check it out.
I don't think you even need to call it fire department. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by firing squad.
4 days out from Election Day, and former President Donald Trump is escalating his violent rhetoric, suggesting one of his most prominent critics, the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
Your reaction to what Donald Trump said about Liz Cheney?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it was completely inappropriate, dangerous, and unbecoming of a leader. Mr. Trump was literally going after someone who doesn't agree with him. So it shouldn't be a surprise when people come on TV and feel the need to agree with him.
As 9 barrels, when he says 9 barrels shooting at her, that obviously evokes images of a firing squad. It evokes images of an execution.
Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her. And does that pull more low propensity voters in his coalition to the?
Now, if you heard all this conversation, you got these correspondents You got these people that look like they're dressed pretty nice. They're in nice studios. They're on a news agency, and they're saying these things out of their face. And they're talking, and nice white ladies doing like this. White guy got on his blazer, sports jacket, and they're saying these things. You're like, wow, these people seem credible. Yeah, these people are the people that we're supposed to respect. These are the people that we're supposed to listen to because these people are honest because they got CNN beside their name. They got other news agencies behind their names. These are known entities. These people have been vetted. This news organization would not be just making this shit up. What's going to happen to their reputation when this comes out? So all these things are the things that you would think because you're a reasonable person. And you're like, hey, in business, the last thing you want to do is be known for lying. But what if you could lie and there'd be no repercussion? What if you could lie and everybody around you lies and people are so in on the lie that they're all a part of the lie and none of them will snitch on you? Instead, everyone will go along with the lie. So now there is no repercussion for the lie. You just keep selling the lie. In fact, the person that will be hurt is the person who tells the truth, who exposes the lie. That's how our media works. And that's why I say, folks, we are all but doomed because they get to lie this much. They get to lie this far. It is not just one organization. It's not just one anchor. I wish it was just one person. It ain't.
Polls? I honestly don't think so.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And
is it weird for you to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little dog?
Now look, that was what the clip I just played for you is what the Associated Press ran. Now this will be the full clip. In fact, yeah, this is the entire clip here. This is the full clip in context in what Trump was referring to. Now remember what they just said Trump said. Remember what they were just saying how he was. He wanted Liz Cheney to be shot down. Check it out.
Repulsive little daughter running against you with Kamala Harris.
well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually. Look, she's a deranged person. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I used to I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Donald Trump is the most artful when it comes to how he expresses himself. I'm not going to say that he is Edgar Allan Poe. Nah, he's not Walt Whitman. He's not Maya Angelou. Let's go that way. He's not Maya Angelou. He's Michelle Alexander. He's not. There's no Baldwin, right? But what he is making a solid point. Liz Cheney is a warmongering she-devil. She's a devil. She's a warmongering, bloodthirsty, warmongering person trained by her father who was also warmongering such and such. I got receipts. And Donald Trump is saying what we've heard so many people say. It's not even a new thing. It's something people have been saying for years. It's always the rich bastards that want to send the young people. It's always old, rich, white people, powerful white people want to send poor people, typically black and poor whites, to their deaths in other countries to fight wars unnecessarily to enrich themselves. And Trump is saying, hey, nah, won't you go? Who hasn't said that? Oh, I know who hasn't said it. Rich Democrats. Rich Democrats don't say it. Their kids don't go. Their kids don't go. Our kids go. Our kids go just because they're trying to go to college. Our kids go because there's no jobs in the hood. Their kids don't go, though. Their kids don't go. Their kids stay home. Their kids get to go to college anyway. See what I'm saying? And what all Trump is saying is something so many other people have said before. Not me, you go. How we said? Not me, you. How about you instead? Yeah, let's not say we did, or since you want to start wars, won't you send your kids? Or won't you go fight those wars? Then all of a sudden, hey, I guess we don't need to fight those wars. That's the only point he was making. And from that statement, which is a very common working class people comment, we get all these Democrats, these liberals, these corporate media jackasses running around saying Donald Trump said that Liz Cheney should be shot down by a firing squad. Now, once again, not the best wording, but that's what he said. That's what he meant. And in context, you get his point. And don't think for a second they didn't know what he meant. Don't act like for a second no one understands his point. But look what they did to his statement.
And Bram Resnick, the political anchor and reporter from our NBC affiliate in Phoenix, KPNX, joins us. Talk about this breaking news regarding Donald Trump's comments that he made about Liz Cheney in Arizona last night. The Attorney General is responding?
That's right. I just spoke to Attorney General Chris Mays about 2 hours ago for the taping of my Sunday show. She told me she just gotten off the phone with her criminal division chief, and she was investigating whether what Donald Trump said about Liz Cheney constituted a death threat under Arizona law. I'll tell you, under Arizona law, it is illegal to make threats or intimidate someone, can be charged as a Class 1 misdemeanor, Class 6 felony. Chris Mays told me they're looking into it. I asked her whether this was just political speech, free speech. She said we're checking to see if it crossed that line, but she also put it in the larger perspective.
Yeah. Did it cross the line? Can we get a charge out of this? Can we lock him up for saying someone is a warmongering piece of garbage who always wanted him to take our country to war when he was president? That's why she doesn't like him. And then he said, instead of sending our young people to war, won't you go? The same people, the very people that historically, the same people that would historically be in this country who by, how to say this? Once upon a time, Democrats were supposedly different. I think it was before I started voting. Once upon a time, they used to say the Democrats were the party of peace. Now they're the party of leaving bodies in pieces. That's what they're a party of. Now they can't even understand what Trump was saying. And the masses of people, they probably, I can't even blame those people because they probably never heard the whole context. And once you've dogged someone's reputation to the extent that they've dogged out Trump's, you can say anything. You can say the guy said anything, and people will believe it. In fact, even if you play the clip for them, they're so far gone, their brains are so infected. Even when you say, "Hey, they're lying about this guy," instead of going, "You're right," the people will get mad at you and say, "Why are you trying to help them?" That's how bad it is. Instead of saying, "You're right, that's dirty what they did there," they'll say, "Why are you trying to help him? He's a horrible person." Why are you caping for him? Why are you defending him? They don't even want to know the truth, because now they know the truth causes conflict because they believe a thing and they've been believing that thing probably for a couple of years now. And now to learn new information requires too much thought. We'd rather just believe what we were taught, what they've been telling us on MSNBC. And besides, that nice lady Joy Reid told me, she's been telling me, and I believe her. And I believe Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross has been saying that. Remember before she got fired? She was saying it so long. Jonathan Capehart's been telling me. Rachel Maddow's been telling me. Mika Brzezinski and Morning Joe been telling me. And they know Trump better than anyone. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar been telling me. Sonny Hoskins been telling me. Everyone's been telling me. Jake Tapper. They've all been telling me how horrible he is. I can't listen to this bald-headed, milk-dud-head dude in this home studio telling me something different, even if he is playing me the whole clip. And if I agree that, or if I believe that what you're telling me is right, Tim, now I got to question all the other shit they've been telling me. And that just opens up a whole can of worms that these people are not prepared to open. But my point is, the corporate media has been doing this over and over and over again. And it ain't about me, man. I already made my mind up. I know I don't trust them. And I know what they do. So when I saw the news item, I said, time to get to the bottom of this smear. But to people that are uninitiated, people that don't know, they fall for it. Because everyone else is telling them. And that's how all the bad things that ever get done, that's how they're done. By liars, lying liars that lie. Smears. It's funny, guys. This whole Liz Cheney talk, people say, Tim Black, man, why are you so against Kamala Harris? There are a lot of reasons. If you really want to know, go to Kamala8reasons.com. That's Kamala8reasons.com and get my ebook. I tell you at least 8 reasons why. I got more, though. Yeah, I got much more. But this Liz Cheney thing and this Dick Cheney thing, it proves how horrible our media is. Folks, hit the like button. Hit the like button for me. Get this in the algorithm. I know it's Friday and people out having a good time. But if they're not, they need to see this. I think Maze put this out on Twitter or X. M-A-Z-E. One of the few people that I subscribe to on Twitter. Maybe it's by someone called Grabian. I'm not sure. But I want to play you a clip. Because, see, there is no honor amongst thieves. and the lies are so thick, the average person would think, no, Tim, it's not that bad. It cannot be that bad. You're exaggerating when you say all these media entities are corrupt and they lie to us and they're full of it and they're misleading us on purpose and they don't care about their reputations. They don't think you're smart enough to find out nor care when you find out because you're sheep. They have no respect for you. They have no respect for the truth, but more importantly, they have no respect for you as a viewer. They say, screw you. You are nobody. Listen, when Joe Biden said Trump supporters were garbage, he wasn't just talking about Trump supporters. That's what they think of all of us. They think we're all garbage. They think we're all scumbags, losers, mouth-breathing idiots, morons, children, sheep, suckers. That's what they think about all of us, not just Trump supporters. This is what people don't get. The people at the top think that we're all a bunch of suckers and losers. They don't respect us at all. Folks, the Democrats don't respect you at all. Corporate media has contempt for you. You're a means to an end. You're a dot on a spreadsheet. You're a quota to hit. You matter not. You are people to corral to a slaughter. You are, for instance, Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney have been hated. It was an agreed upon thing. These are the two of the worst people in the country. And now, in a blink of an eye, in the blinking of 6 months, a year, they've convinced you should elect Kamala Harris because these two people have endorsed her.
Of former Vice President, I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney and Satan. That's next.
The Sith Lord is back.
Like a demon, it rises again.
Dick Cheney, Darth Vader, Satan.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
We don't need Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney was dangerous. That war.
The only thing you got to do is just be better than Dick Cheney.
I like to see Dick Cheney exposed. He's a liar.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
You were part of the Dick Cheney cult that led to hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis being killed because of the cult you were in.
Cheney dishonestly made up the idea they had nuclear weapons. Just lied. Why do they want these wars? What is it that they don't like somebody because they don't like the look of their face?
Irrelevant national embarrassments, Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney.
I'm old enough to remember Dick Cheney driving over to the CIA to look over their shoulders to make sure they gave him the intel that he wanted so as to justify the Iraq war.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
No apologies, no regrets from former Vice President Dick Cheney for the harsh CIA interrogation techniques.
Under Dick Cheney's tutelage, we got the photographs at Abu Ghraib.
The former vice president, at one point, signing a waterboard kit.
Cheney, of course, unrepentant. You know what? Go to hell.
I want to talk about a man rotten to his very core, which is in itself a tiny black hole from which no joy or light can escape. The ancient Coptics knew this man as Unhotek, the Dark One, the jagged-toothed forest demon who steals our children. We know him as former Vice President Dick Cheney.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
What do you think of Dick Cheney? And people would say, well, I hate everything he stands for.
I am someone fundamentally opposed to the politics of Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney. I literally started writing books in the first place.
As we listen to all of this, as we listen to all of these entities, tell you about Dick Cheney, how much they despise him, hate him, all these reasons why he's a horrible figure, all these reasons why him and his daughter are deplorable, disgusting. Their policies, inhumane, blood on their hands, liars who misled the country into a war where innocent people were killed, where U.S. soldiers' lives were taken off for nothing. Remember, all these people are saying something different now, and all of them, everyone on that screen, is now supporting a candidate who is basking in the glow of accepting an endorsement from these people. Kamala Harris is happy to accept that endorsement. She is leading. She is leading with, hey, I got endorsed by Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney. I am the person. What would that tell you about who she is? What does that tell you about who she is, who Kamala Harris is? And what does that tell you about those people that you just saw in that film who were just labeling Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney all these things and what they're saying now? Has Dick Cheney done something that I don't know about that has somehow redeemed himself? No. But it became politically expedient for them to go along. So then they sold you out, they sold the country out, they sold the dead soldiers out, they sold out all the dead victims, all the casualties, all those irreparably damaged. They sold everyone out for money, all of them. You think they forgot what they said? You think they forgot the reasons why they said it? You think they forgot the basis of which they drew those conclusions? Everyone from Jon Stewart to Rachel Maddow, to Chris Matthews, to Cenk Uygur. All of them. Every face you saw in those videos, guys. Every face. Those are people in media right now, from corporate to independent. Kyle Kalinske, all of them. Will they be voting for Kamala Harris, the person who has accepted the endorsement of Dick Cheney? Yes, they will. Yes, they will. The same people who said, oh my God, Joe Biden's horrible. He had the crime bill. He's the author of every piece of tough on crime legislation since the 80s. Had Joe Biden's name on it, and he was proud of it, and he stuck his chest out. And what they do? They all shut the hell up and went and voted for him. I didn't, but they did. All of them. Because they have no core. They have no ethics. They didn't give a shit about us. They cared about themselves. They cared about their pockets. They said, well, what choice do I have? I have to go with... I can't stand up for what's right. I can't be a voice of reason. I can't have ethics, integrity. Oh, hell no. I might end up with less money. Oh, no. Can't do that. This game is about getting as much money as possible. Damn the victims. Damn the dead. Damn the truth. You still think we got a shot?
More than a decade ago, because I had so much to get off my chest about what I thought was wrong with the Cheney family approach to war and foreign policy. That first book I ever wrote is literally dedicated to him.
Dick Cheney, profoundly dangerous.
Cheney, I think, was arrested twice.
A master manipulator like Dick Cheney, willing to say anything.
And now, as the cascade of misery and death and chaos he did so much to unleash rages anew, Mr. Cheney has the unadulterated gall to come before the country and tell us that it's all someone else's fault. You said there was no doubt Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. You said we would be greeted as liberators. You said the Iraq insurgency was in the last throes back in 2005. And you said that after our intervention, extremists would have to, quote, rethink their strategy of jihad. Now, with almost $1 trillion spent there, with 4,500 American lives lost there, what do you say to those who say you were so wrong about so much at the expense of so many?
Look at his daughter sitting right there. I got a feeling Megan's not voting for Kamala. Probably not because she has ethics, but at least she won't do that.
No, I just fundamentally disagree, Megan.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Cheney's the guy who told those guys to lie in the first place, you moron.
Ambassador Wilson wrote an op-ed titled, "What I Didn't Find in Africa," that exposed Vice President Cheney's use of false information to sell us a war in Iraq. A week after Wilson's op-ed was published, his wife, Valerie Plame, was outed as a covert CIA agent.
And all we did was out a CIA agent.
The criminal proclivity, power grab mentality of Dick Cheney.
And they twisted that intelligence.
I did not believe what Dick Cheney had to say. I thought that they were lying.
Vice President Dick Cheney accidentally shot a man.
Vice President Cheney's been the most dangerous vice president we've had probably in American history.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
I want to thank Grabian or Grabian, not sure how to pronounce it, for the use of their video on their content. Maybe some people will wake up and realize that our media is full of shit. They lied to them. Can't be trusted. Hit the like button, guys, for that segment. I think that was an important segment. It is what it is. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the like button on a Friday. I know it's a little down. I feel a little down after that, but we had to get that out there. That's an important segment to do, Johnson. People need to know, you know what I'm saying? Why would you want the endorsement of that guy? Why would you want to endorse someone? Or why would you want to support someone who wants the endorsement of that person? Who would accept it? Who would, why would you? Okay. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to BT. This show is brought to you by you. This show don't work without you, folks. Real talk. Yeah, I'm not doing this unless it's without you. There's no way I'm able to do this show. If you want to support independent media, this show in particular, go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Support what we do here, man. That's all. I think it's important. I think it matters. And with your help, we can keep doing it. Wow, thank you to my people that already support, man. And believe me, I got some great people that have my back. I want to thank you for what you do. Real talk. Thank you for being a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack, the Tim Black VIP, Team Black. Thank you, guys. Means a whole lot to us. Really does. Brother God, take care of his family and live indoors. And thank you for helping to keep the lights on and keep this thing running. All right, guys. So, I don't know, man. Maybe it was a couple days ago. Fam. BET had a summit called a Black Men's Summit. Yeah, Black Men's Summit, man. And I got to tell you, after watching this thing, I have a lot less faith in black men. Yeah, I'm just going to put that out there, man. I was feeling good up until I saw this clip, or these clips. I was feeling good because it was like we're getting this consciousness being raised of black men kind of leading the way. Of course, they're black women too. Don't get me twisted. They're black women who are very vocal and they're standing up too. But black men, I feel like black men were kind of leading the charge against the disinformation and the corruption in the BS of the Democratic Party, and we were pushing back. And it felt good. Felt good to be one of those people, man, that's a part of that. Then I saw this crap on BET, the Black Men Summit.
I am D.L. Hughley. With so much at stake this November, there is a lot to discuss.
We want a seat at the table.
Join me as I talk with special invited guests for a deep and honest discussion with the brothers.
I don't feel either of them really represent what I'm looking for.
To hear their thoughts, their feelings, and what issues matter to them in the upcoming election.
This election is not about the two people running, it is about our future.
You know, I want to first say that I did not watch this entire summit. I watched clips. I have clips to show you. Those clips are what I'm going to comment on. Maybe there were brothers that were there who shared a similar opinion as mine. Maybe. I mean, if they really wanted my opinion, they would have invited me. I'm not obscure. I mean, not that far obscure. Some people know who I am. You know, there are people close to my opinion. I don't know if they were invited, but I guess if they really wanted to hear the counter argument in the same room, they would have invited people with a counter argument. I don't know if they did or not, but I know when I see a D.L. Hughley, I know it's going to be some caping for Kamala. With that, let's go.
Join us for BET Black Men Summit.
Tuesday at 10 on BET.
What was your reaction when you heard President Obama say that?
Well, there are some men who don't want to vote for a woman. Sure. The founders of Project 2025.
Whenever I hear people talking about Project 2025, I'm automatically turned off because I know it's a psyop. Yeah, they're using this as a boogeyman to scare a bunch of people. Folks, every year, every month, there's a new report written by some organization. Every year, all the time. And if you're going to allow that to scare you into voting for a crap candidate, then you'll be moved all the time. It's always going to be something. Just like every election, guys, it's the most important election of our lifetimes, right? Isn't that what they say? Every election is the most important election of your lifetime. I mean, how many lifetimes do we have? Because every election, since I was able to vote, I've been hearing them say, this election is the most important election of your lifetime. And I say, I don't really want to go with this person. They say, you have to, because insert, it's going to be the end of days. They're going to bring back slavery. They're going to turn the country into, I don't know, something. And here we go again. This actor, why do we have to have actors and comedians? And I ain't got nothing against them, man. But why do we have people that are built in, whose jobs and their very sustenance and their financial stability rides on them going with the Democratic Party? We all know that's true with these people. Everyone at this thing that I'm seeing, the notable people that I recognize, I know their careers are tied to the Democratic Party. And their careers thusly will be tied to Kamala Harris. So the questions about Obama and what he said. And instead of having an honest critique really about Obama, let's see what Michael Ealy has to say.
Really don't want a woman as
Black Men Summit.
Tuesday at 10 on BET.
What was your reaction when you heard President Obama say that?
Well, there are some men who don't want to vote for a woman. Sure. The founders of Project 20.
You know, there are men we don't vote for. Every election, there are men we don't vote for. Right? Right? Aren't there men we don't vote for? Does that mean we will never vote for another man? No, it doesn't. When they elected Obama, did that mean they were never going to vote for another white guy? Obviously no, right? Just because people not feeling the prosecutor from California, the attorney general from California, Miss Word Salad herself, does not mean they never vote for a woman, or a black woman, or a woman of color, or an Indian Jamaican woman, whatever. Why come she can't just be an individual? She is just an individual. Why come we can't just say they don't want to vote for her? Not good enough.
2025 really don't want a woman as president. And their women don't want a woman as president. That is not being held to the same standard. If, in fact, you are one of those individuals who believe that a woman should not be president, speak on it. So, like, if you're masking your sexism with, she locked up a whole bunch of black men. Well, that's already been debunked. So what is it? Or she's not black. So what is it? What is it that's really...
You know what, guys? I want to do something for you today I don't usually do. You know me, I try to be entertaining. Let's do the entertaining last. I've reported on Kamala Harris so often. And what I'm about to give you is some real breakdown about Kamala Harris. I'm tired of Michael Ealy. I'm tired of Roland Martin. I'm tired of D.L. Hughley. I'm tired of the liars. They're all lying about Kamala Harris in a record. I've been covering Kamala Harris since 2017-18. Her record as a prosecutor and a district attorney is not good at all. Enough for you not to want to support her right there. Incarcerated, 1,900 marijuana offenses, but not many of them were jailed for simple weed possession, because very often that's just the reason why they pull you. Harris fought ballot measures for recreational pot in 2010. Harris stayed on sidelines when the second ballot measure passed in 2016. Harris did not support legalizing marijuana until 2018. Why did she not support legalizing marijuana in 2018? Or why did she change her tune? Because she was running for president. But up until that point, it was because it was a good way to get convictions. It was a good way to get what? Incarceration rates up. What other reason was there to do that? She changed when it was time to run for election because she knew the way the wind was blowing. Not till 2018. Harris did not fight for legalization, she opposed it. This is well documented. In Sacramento, in the Sacramento Bee is my source. So you can say, oh, Kamala didn't lock up that many people for weed. She was supporting a piece of a law that was grossly over-indexing on punishing black people. And she stayed in that mode until 2018, until she wanted to run for president. These are the facts. We'll go to conviction data later.
Speak on it.
Now, being Crump, what is your view of VP Harris and a record when it comes to criminal justice?
You know, as a civil rights lawyer, I got to interact with Vice President Harris when she was the Attorney General of California. We were not on the same size, but I saw her passion to do the right thing and her passion to try to help black people. When we think about it,
that is such a horrible thing, man. Benjamin Crump, that's horrible of you to do that. Benjamin Crump, defense lawyer, is now caping for a former prosecutor. Let's just be clear. Kamala Harris, district attorney from 04 to 11. From 04 through 2010, as a DA, Harris had wide latitude to decide which marijuana cases to prosecute and what sentences to seek in that city. She took office after defeating the legendary liberal district attorney, Terrence Hallinan. Hallinan, during the acrimonious campaign, Harris criticized Hallinan over his office's low conviction rate. Kamala worked under Hallinan. She worked under Terrence Hallinan. He was the super progressive DA. Kamala said, oh, I'm gonna run to take your job. She ran tough on crime campaign against Hallinan. And she ran on, I'm gonna be tougher on crime and you're too soft on crime. Your conviction rate's low. I'd lock more people up. That's what she ran on, Crump. That's what she ran on, Crump. That's what she ran on, Rowland. That's what she ran on, D.L. Hughley. That's what she ran on, Michael Ealy, locking up more people. She said that's what's wrong with San Francisco. We don't lock up enough people. What people was she talking about? Was she talking about rich white kids in the valley? Crump? Because you just said she cared so much about black people. What people was she talking about locking up? She vowed to run a tighter ship. Both candidates supported medical marijuana, which was already legal in California. She was against recreational marijuana. Over Harris's 7 years as top prosecutor, her attorneys won 1,956 misdemeanors and felony convictions for marijuana possession. Possession, cultivation, and sale. Now that's according to data from the DA's office. That includes people who were convicted of marijuana offenses and more serious crimes at the same time. Very rarely does somebody just have a nickel of weed. While there were more marijuana convictions during Hallinan's tenure, there were also a lot more arrests. San Francisco arrest data compiled by the Attorney General's office suggested 24% of marijuana offenses or arrests led to marijuana convictions under Harris. Once again, 24% of the convictions under Harris were marijuana, but only 18% of convictions for marijuana were under Hallinan. She went up. Now this information, guys, you think I got a crack team of investigators working with me to get this done? Do you think I'm like, I don't know, Candace Owens, and I'm a multi-millionaire and I'm married to a multi-millionaire, and I could just send money and pay people to go look it up for me? Or you think I did this my damn self? Yeah, I did this my damn self. Do you think other people could find out? You think Roland Martin has a staff? He's a millionaire. You think he has a staff of people he could find out this information I'm giving you? Why don't you think Roland hasn't been forthcoming and shared this with you? Why do you think all these networks haven't done what I'm doing right now? This ain't my first time doing this either. But I figure this may be the last time to wake some people up. I've been reporting on her since 2017, 2018. I have almost 5,000 videos in my library that are free. Anybody can go watch them. Now, it's true, only 45 people were sentenced to state prison for marijuana convictions. But that only includes people whose most serious conviction was marijuana, which will be relevant later. Usually you got a series of charges, right? If that's what, let me let this guy tell you, because he's gonna talk as if he's saying something, and everyone's going to agree with him, but he's lying. And if you like Kamala, just like her, you ain't got a lot of my people. If you want to support Kamala Harris, support her. But you don't have to lie to my people, because when you lie, I have to come expose you. And I'm not going to be so nice.
DL, you have to think that this is a sister who grew up in Oakland, California, and she chose that the best way I can help the system is to be a prosecutor, be on the inside.
That's bullshit. Benjamin Crump, you should be fired. No one should ever, ever support you. There are so many ways, there are so many things that you can do with a law degree, guys. There's so many things you can do with a law degree. You do not have to go be a prosecutor. And if you're going to be a prosecutor, if you have to be a prosecutor, I don't think you should be a president. I don't even think you should be a senator. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't be a prosecutor if you're black. What I'm saying is, if you're going to be a prosecutor, you don't get to be my president, because I would never vote for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because there are all types of things, all types of jobs, from defense attorneys to legal investigators who handle all types of civil action suits or class action suits, things that happen to black people all across this country. There's so many jobs. It's Google jobs with a law degree that you could do. Why do you have to become a prosecutor? And once you're a prosecutor, it's inevitable you're going to find out how the system works. Folks, the people that worked for Hitler, since everyone wants to use Hitler comparisons to Donald Trump, the people that worked there didn't know what they were getting into at first, but Lord knows after they were there for a little while, they had to know something was up. And we charged them accordingly. Right? When the trials came, they got charged accordingly. If you worked there for one day and say, oh shit, I can't do this, and you left, that's totally different. Maybe when the trials came, you were okay. But you can't tell me if you worked in this system since 2004 to 2011, that you don't see that system punishes, mollywops poor people. You don't see the corruption that's built into our system, and you continue to be a part of that. I've known people, and there are people that are documented. There are people on the line, on the record, talking about our system. Michelle Alexandria. Maybe it's Durr. Michelle Alexander. That's it. The New Jim Crow was in part written about Kamala Harris. Benjamin Crump, your soul is gone. You have no soul. You have no soul, sir. Maybe that's why you rock with Roland, because he, similarly to you, doesn't have a soul. And you're lying through your face right now.
Work with her. I'm sure you were in court with her on the other side of the state. But
out of that, we gained a healthy respect for one another. While everybody talks about prosecutors being tough on crime, she came up with a concept called being smart on crime. When she became prosecutor in San Francisco, she said, I'm gonna be smart on crime. She had this back on track policy that said when young brothers and sisters messed up, she said that if it's your first time and you're under the age of 18, they're not gonna charge you with this crime for life. If you then get in.
Look at all the stipulations she's going through. Some of the cases that Terrence Hallinan would have just declined to prosecute, Harris said, no, we're going to prosecute these as felonies. Other activists point out that marijuana convictions still impact offenders' lives, even if they aren't incarcerated. Just because you don't rot your life away in prison doesn't mean it wasn't a big deal to get a conviction. Your ability to keep your job, get another job, or get housing with that conviction on your record is all hurt by that.
Any more trouble, and if you graduated from high school or you got a GED, they would expunge your record. Now, what prosecutors we know when we were growing up would treat us like that? That's Kamala Harris.
He's making that sound like that was some crazy radical thing. Hallinan was much better than her. He went much further than her. He would not even prosecute that. And if you fucked up when you were a kid, what happened after that? What you do after that? Bankrupt? And remember, we are talking about juveniles. He said under 18, right? Okay. We're about to get to the good stuff.
Many brothers had concerns about Kamala Harris's history as a prosecutor, as did I, being victims of the prison industrial complex. I'm a legal cannabis entrepreneur myself, so when I first heard the figures that she incarcerated thousands of black men for marijuana, I was very skeptical. Now, when you look into the actual numbers, it was 45 men in total.
45 men that went to jail just for marijuana, if that was their only charge. Most people don't get that as their only charge. They have other charges. So that's not the totality of the charges. Those 45 were only 45 men. And first of all the records are not here because that was a long time ago. They got rid of all the records, and then recreational. Now that marijuana is legal, it's really hard to find a date on it. But I really wish you do some critical thinking here. If you got charged with anything else more serious than marijuana, you wouldn't count in that 45. These are people with only marijuana. Only. Doesn't mean it went away if you was in a stolen car or if you just stole something or did whatever and had a marijuana charge. That's a different thing altogether. And you would think a person like you was smart enough to figure that out, considering the majority of people in our prisons are there for nonviolent drug offenses. How could you be this naive? You have to know there's some wordplay and some jousting going on, some gymnastics to get us to this. Well, she only locked up 45 people. You have to know that if you know anything about our prison system at all. The majority of people in our prison system are there for nonviolent drug offenses. How could this make sense? That's because they're only counting the people that had a joint, goofy. Here goes the worst. Well, of the worst. Let's up the ante a little bit. Overcrowded prisons under Kamala Harris. Since she let so many people out, why were the prisons so overcrowded in under her? Why were the prisons so overcrowded, sir? Since Kamala Harris was so lenient. Remember, Trump just said she let everybody go. She was such a sweetheart. Who else would do that? Under Kamala Harris, the San Francisco prison system was overloaded, and under Kamala Harris, capacity at the time was 2,300. Pervasive, which is the source, tracks the jail system on a state basis, shows from 2004 to 2011, San Francisco jail stayed at 2,300. After Kamala, it fell to just over 1,600 prisoners. Like a good hotel, it stayed full under Kamala. Yeah, I did extra digging. See, under Kamala, it was at 2,300. As soon as she left, it fell by 700. She kept an ass in the seats. Get it? These are just numbers and facts. Kamala Harris fought to keep nonviolent offenders in jail. Senator Kamala Harris repeatedly openly defied U.S. Supreme Court orders to reduce overcrowding in California prisons. This is when she was state's attorney general. Working with Governor Jerry Brown, Harris and her legal team filed motions that were condemned by judges and legal experts as obstructionist, bad faith, and nonsensical, at one point even suggesting that the Supreme Court lacked the jurisdiction to order a reduction in California's prison population. Harris and her team filed motions to get around or to move the amount of prisoners that could be in the jail, to increase that number. You'll see why this is bad. At its height, it was stuffed to some 200% of its designated or designed capacity. It's supposed to, let's say it was built for 1,300. Kamala had it at 2,600. Or it was built for, what is it? What's the number? I'm sorry, guys. It built for 2,300. No, it wasn't built for 2,300. She had it at 2,300, but it was built at 1,700. Or double, I'm sorry. It says 200%, my God. So half of 23, I don't know, 11.5. At its height, it was stuffed to some 200% its design capacity. There were not enough beds or medical personnel, but an extreme excess of bodies. In one prison, 54 prisoners shared a single toilet. I want to hear again. God, I wish I could just rewind and go back to that part where I think it was Crump saying that Kamala really cared about black people in jail. Really? 54 people to one toilet doesn't sound like caring. It gets worse. Preventable deaths due to substandard and overstretched medical care occurred every 5 to 6 days. Preventable deaths. Someone died every 5 or 6 days in our prisons under Kamala. See, Dale Hughley and this cornball here, this guy here, and Benjamin Crump and all the other Kamala supporters got us focused on marijuana. They got us focused on weed. Like Stephen A. Smith would say, the weed, put down the weed. They got us focused on weed. Kamala was letting people die, yo. Kamala Harris was allowing poor people to die in prison. Rich people don't die in prison. Not unless they get Epsteined, okay? Kamala was allowing U.S. citizens to die in prison. Every 5 to 6 days, someone would die. Suicidal inmates were locked in telephone booth-sized cages for 24 hours at a time. Just research. Not InfoWars. Not the Trump website, whatever that is. Not Truth Social. Just the internet. Just newspapers in California, magazines in California, news sites based in California, they've been reporting on it. This is a commonly known thing. That's why I've always looked at D.L. Hughley and called him a certain type of scumbag. This is why I had so much vitriol for D.L. Hughley, because he lives in California. There's no way he doesn't know about this. In fact, when I had guests on my show from California, young black men or black men around my age who were there during the heyday of Kamala Harris, some of them would not even discuss it in fear of retribution from Kamala Harris. I could sense a hesitancy of people on my show to discuss Kamala because they still fear her long arm, because they're still residents of California. And they know who I'm talking to, and they remember. Harris defied court orders to release prisoners to use them as bodies to fight wildfires. We all know about that. D.L. Hughley never brings that up. He keeps bringing up weed. She even stooped so low, using states' rights tactics often used by pro-segregationist governors in the Deep South. She said, hey, I know what the feds say we could do, but this is California. Can we do what we want to do? States' rights. And I'm the Attorney General, and I say they stay. No one talks about it. This is a new note that I made. The last time when I did the update on my research, probably last month, 2 months. I'll read it to you. If Harris had mounted a longer presidential campaign and not dropped out, it's likely these issues would have been raised on their own. It would have ruined her career. But giving her early departure, her record, in some cases, escaped a thorough vetting. In the time she's transitioned from presidential hopeful to vice presidential favorite, even some of her fiercest critics have changed their tune on her legacy. See, once she became vice president, people shut up. And now that she's, a candidate for presidency, you see the room of sellouts, don't you? I mean, not all of them are sellouts, but some of them are. Some of them have done the research. You think Benjamin Crump doesn't know what I know? Benjamin Crump's a very rich man with a very substantial practice. You think he really doesn't know what I just read you? They know. It's all factual and actual. And once again, guys, I don't have a problem. And if you want to vote for Kamala Harris, you vote for Kamala Harris. What I have a problem with is people who have the access to the facts, who know the data, who have the information, lying, leaving out truth, omitting the truth, and spinning a narrative. Kamala dragged her feet on marijuana to keep those convictions, to increase the conviction rate, which is what she ran on. She said she was going to do it, and she did that. Many cases that the previous DA would not have even charged you on, she charged you with a felony. You don't get to over 200% capacity at times in the prisons without trying to. They had to sue her to get her to reduce or release nonviolent offenders, even though they were dying in the prisons. Every 5 or 6 days, someone would die due to overcrowding, no medical treatment, 54 prisoners to a bathroom, a toilet, not a bathroom, a toilet. Who do you think was locked up in those prisons? Hunter Biden wasn't. Who do you think was there? Masterson? The guy from the 70s show? You think he was there? Robert Downey Jr., right? Nah! People that look like you. People like your broke ass was there. She didn't give a shit. You know, this BET thing, this whatever this is. This is nothing but propaganda and a lie in order to try to swing an election for a person who doesn't deserve to vote. And if you're going to vote for you should be able to do so with factual, actual information. Not spin, not lies, not fabrications. What a letdown, man. What a letdown. What a letdown. It's the Democratic Party, it's Hollywood, it's corrupt, it's all these corrupted figures all together, all vying to have a seat at the table. And that's what the guy said. We want a seat at the table. What table? You think Kamala Harris gives you a seat at the table? Is that what you think? You actually think Kamala Harris would make time for you if it weren't for election time? You really, these people are delusional, Johnson. You know, it's leading families at any time can be stressful. Being a head of a household, being a breadwinner, being a partner in a relationship, whatever. It's tough stuff. Raising children, taking care of elderly parents, all of it. Just dealing with life is tough. But we got to rise to the occasion. We can't phone it in. We can't just go with the flow. In my opinion, Kamala Harris is the greater evil. Everything we know about Trump is everywhere. It's all about, it's everywhere. We always hear about Central Park 5. We never hear about them damn firefighters, do we? You know, Trump was not an elected official when he wrote that shit. You know that, right? Okay, just checking. Because Kamala was an elected official. She had the power of the state behind her, and she used it. Just point that out, because I hear a lot of people clutching pearls about a letter a private citizen wrote to a paper that published it. But I don't hear any smoke for any of the things I just brought up tonight. Not from a single one of these entities. But every time I turn around, I got to keep hearing about the Central Park 5. Why don't I hear about all the black men who died in those prisons every 5 or 6 days? Why don't I hear about the people on suicide watch who were placed in telephone booth-sized cells for 24 hours at a time? I don't know. I guess it's not pertinent, is it? It's not important for us to know that. No, we need to know everything about Trump. And that's why I say Kamala is the greater evil, because she's got more power than Trump. Trump couldn't keep, if Trump spit on the sidewalk, he couldn't keep that story out the newspaper. If Trump farted in an elevator, hell, he farted in court and it made the news. Kamala let people die on her watch, and it never made the news. And that's why I say she's the most dangerous one. She's more dangerous. And what happened when Trump had the audacity to say a fear-mongering war criminal Is that a good person to get an endorsement from? And if you want to send people to war, you should go to war and fight in their place. What'd they do? They said he threatened to kill someone because he said that. And they applied to Kamala for getting her endorsement. And you wonder who's a greater evil? I mean, I'm not telling you it's easy being where I'm at or being in this position when, let's face it, guys, all the money for the black people on the side of the Democratic Party. That's why they push it so hard, because that's where the money is for them. That's it. It ain't rocket science, man. If you black and you want to make money in this media game relating to media and new, you got to go with the Democratic Party. And that's why they're doing what they're doing, because that's where the money is. It's a racket. Just like everything else, it is a racket. But we get screwed over. Just like many rackets, there's going to be victims. The victims are us. We are the victims. So we have to call this out. We got to stand on truth. That's my job. I ain't doing nothing but doing my job. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing my due diligence. That's it. Okay? Do with the information what you will. But if you're watching this broadcast, you can't pretend not to know what you know. Okay? I'm not saying it's easy being somebody standing up against people who don't know a damn thing, who tell you they know something. Most people don't know what I just shared with you. But if we made this platform bigger, more people would know that shit. I'd make sure of it. More people need to know that. And it ain't just, Kamala's not the only person. She operated within a system that allowed her to. Just think of all the people that have helped her get where she is. And think about all the people who have enabled her to keep all that information under wraps. And I'm not even talking about what Candace is on. Hey man, I'm not saying it's not important, but what I just gave you is not about her lineage. It's not about who her mother is. It's about who she is. It's about what her politics is. It's about who she was when she was in charge of people's lives and the choices she made. We don't have no choice. We don't have no control over whose uterus we came out of or where we lived at. But we do have control over when you're a grown-ass person in a job and you decide, we'll just keep people locked up. Or let's charge you with felonies instead of a slap on the wrist. All right, guys. Where are we at here? 142? Hit the like button if this makes sense to you. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. I think we got time for one more story, guys. I like to do at least 2 hours. That's our goal, to do 2 hours. Help me get to 700 likes. Because the next story is pretty tough, too. Let's get to 700. Once again, this show is brought to you by you. This is how I take care of my family. This is how I run this channel. This is how I'm able to do what the little bit I'm able to do is because of you. And luckily, fortunately, it's not so little. We're able to do some good work. Let's move on to this last story, folks. I don't know exactly where Fat Joe was. And I'm only commenting on this because it's so pathetic. You know? But I got to comment on it because it's like I could save this for another day. But let's do it today. So rapper Fat Joe, he's been getting a microphone a lot lately. You know, because America loves promoting rappers. Truth tellers, fighting for the community, fighting for working class people, fighting for our existence, fighting for our justice, and I don't mean that corny, I mean just being honest, being real about what's going on. They don't want us promoted. They don't want us to get the mic. They want to give the mic to who they like, people that will fall in line. I'm convinced, folks, the only people that get the mic are people that are selling out. I think there's a rule written somewhere. If you're liable to say something important that might help the people, you're not able to get the microphone. You are not to be platformed. I truly believe that. Fat Joe.
Breaks my heart when I see people talk about, and I tell you, if any one of you guys got Puerto Rican friends, when you go over there and you go visit, the first thing they tell you is my island, my island. Yo, you went to my island? You enjoy they tell me that. I'm not from Puerto Rico. They be like, my island, you was there. I see the picture, my island. How the hell are they gonna call Puerto Rico an island of garbage?
Yes.
And when I post on my Instagram, these the guys you voting for, and I see Puerto Ricans saying, no, we're still for Trump. 2024. That's the house mentality.
Yeah. He said house in. He said house in. Which I got all types of problems. Because he is not a black man. And I wonder why a black man is sitting there while Fat Joe is using that term. It's arguably if we should even use it, but definitely not your punk ass. We got problems. We really got a problem, man. We really do. Fat Joe, I know you probably never see this, but I want you to know the reason probably why your people that are Puerto Rican are not tripping on that joke, because it was a joke. They also may not be tripping about it because Trump didn't say the joke. Somebody else did who's a comedian. Yeah, so that's probably why. But other than that, also they may be thinking about their pockets. Because see, they're not famous rappers who, I don't know how you was able to do whatever you've been able to do, but yeah, so they need a president or somebody that's going to do something economically that's going to help them make more money or be more stable or whatever. And if they think Trump's going to do that, that's probably why they support him. They can't be jumping out the window on a joke by a comedian as if that's the end of the world. Because you know what the real jokes are? The real joke is our system in play itself. Yeah, if you really want to laugh, you should listen to this idea that we have a democracy. Yeah, everybody keeps talking about we need to fight for our democracy. We're losing our democracy. This election will determine if we keep a democracy. And what's funny is we don't have a democracy to lose. But you know that, Joe, if you did some research, in between doing very bad presentations or raps at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, you know that if you weren't just giving bad takes with this cornball here. Whoever this guy is who's allowing you to use that type of language. Well, let's keep going, Joe, because, hey, man, freedom of speech, right?
Yeah. That's the Latino that wish he was white. Right. Those the guys in the comments, you know what I mean? Change their voice up, try to sound white.
Yeah, sounding white is stupid shit. How could you hear them in the comments to know what they were trying to sound like? It's a comment section that's typed, right? So you don't make any sense, bro. You're just saying shit because what you're saying is repeating something someone else said. It's just, it's like redundant. It's redundant what the DNC hacks do. DNC hacks don't actually know anything. They just repeat what they know is acceptable by the people higher up. I so often hear you guys say the same things, and that's when I know you're just following a script. Because you're not this dumb on your own. You're getting help. You're getting help to be this ignorant. You're getting help to have such horrible talking points. It's sort of like whenever Ricky Smiley was talking, it was the same thing. Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hughley, they all say the same thing because they're all given the same talking points.
Trying to fill in. Those are the guys, those are guys I've been fighting my whole life.
I thought you were fighting the system and trying to fight to stay out of jail. So you've been fighting people that think that Trump is better with the economy than Kamala? I don't get who you've been fighting. I thought you were fighting to sell crack, Joe Crack. I thought that's what you were fighting. I'm confused. These people get to rewrite their whole stories, guys. And they're rewarded by the system of corrupt Democratic hacks. This is why I say, man, I say the Democratic Party is the worst party because they got the tentacles and everything. They grease the palms of anybody, and they promote the most derelict of society and put it in front of people who are impressionable, people that may be influenced by this nonsense. If you can speak well, you can speak well. Who cares? Nothing wrong with being well-spoken. But that ain't got nothing to do with what you're talking about. Just say you were kissing Kamala's ass, and we can move on with life. You don't really need a reason. You can choose Kamala for any reason. It doesn't matter. But that's not good enough. You have to fulfill your job. Your job, your assignment is to come out here and somehow make an argument for, I don't know, for why she's better because the comedian made a joke.
Because they look at me like, what I am. He from the mud.
Dude, you ain't been in the mud for 20 years. You are 50 years old talking about he been in the mud. I mean, it's... Now, you done some mud. You done some mud. You are mud. What you're doing now is muddy. Joe, at least when you were selling drugs, you were an honest man. Yeah, you were an honest man when you were selling drugs. Now you are lying, conniving, sneaking scumbag. Yeah, now you're lying. You're giving people stories that aren't true in order to put more money in your pocket. Before, at least when you were selling whatever you were selling, it was probably real. But now you're selling phony shit. In fact, you've been selling phony shit for a while. You were selling phony shit with the music. You ain't done an honest day's work since you were selling crack. I know that sounds crazy, right? You ain't done an honest day's work since you were selling crack. Because after you sold crack, you start selling a fake lifestyle. You start lying to kids about a lifestyle. They probably got them hit in the head for 20 years. And now that you're an old man, what are you doing? You're selling them again. You are lying again and selling them on the Democratic Party. Because you're good and it don't matter to you. It don't affect you. You're either selling them out and you're lying to them or you're stupid. Which hand got stupid in it?
And he don't care because Fat Joe really don't care.
We know.
I'm good with steak and lobster, but I'm good with 4 chicken wing fried rice.
Yeah, Fat Joe, man. People are blaming you for the Yankees losing. Now, I just blame you for some inner city kids probably losing, you know? Listening to your dumb ass, because this... I don't know, man. We just gotta get to the point where we don't listen to Fat Joe. Fat Joe, tell your stupid stories. You know what I'm saying? But when you start easing into politics, it's just, that's when we gotta call you out, bro. Yeah, that's when we gotta call you out, because you might actually do some damage to some low information voters who think you know what you're talking about. There was nothing wrong with people not voting for Kamala Harris. All right, guys, hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button on the show. And let people know that it was a good show. Let them know the algorithm. Let the algorithm know. The algorithm guys know. Tim Black did his thing tonight. It's right off the heels of having Dr. Cornel West on the show. So I did 2 shows in one day, and I think we did pretty good on both shows, man. Did okay. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, folks. Fat Joe cursed the Yankees. That's what I heard, fam. I heard they blame him. Yo. We Curry Signs. Thank you, We Curry Signs. I appreciate you. Black Mamba in the house. Super sticker from you. Thank you. Over 50 and Fantabulous. Sometimes I feel like we're living in a 2024 edition of the Truman Show. It's crazy. Derek Fuller, thank you, my brother. Good to see you, by the way. Ryan Miles, thank you. Welcome back to the show, Ryan. Kelly M., welcome back. How you doing? Tim, quick take on LeBron's commercial endorsement of Kamala, comparing the civil rights struggle to illegal. Yeah. Let's just say LeBron James never ceases to disappoint. He's repeatedly a disappointment. And he's compromised. He's compromised in ways that I can only imagine, you know, the direction he gets pulled in. But that's really no excuse, man. I'm not going to chalk it up to lack of information. I think it's more sinister than that. I think LeBron James knows what he's doing and has been instructed to help with a message. It doesn't need to be factual, and it doesn't matter who it offends. But to compare the struggle of citizens in this country who built this country for free against their will to finally get human rights, to compare that to people that are not in this country, who did not fight wars for this country, who did not build this country against their will, to compare those two things and then not to lose anything because of it. And then for there to be no real repercussion for that. Because see, the only repercussion comes from us. And for that to be any substantial repercussion, that just goes to show you who's running everything. And that's why I say the Democrats are the more dangerous party. Because that's who's allowing that to stand. That's who's bidding. That's who's bidding LeBron is doing. And we all know that, right? He's not doing that for Trump. He's doing that for Kamala Harris. He's doing it for the Democratic Party. All right, Kelly, thank you, sister. I appreciate y'all. It is what it is. Thank you for being here this week. I'll see you on Sunday where we do this all over again. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Hey, there is no reason at all for you to go arguing with people over politics. You know, if you gotta say something to somebody, someone's like Tim, someone's to you. Okay, Kelly, let's say this weekend, you're going to the mailbox. I don't know. You're going for a walk with your dog. I don't know. And you bump into somebody and they're saying, hey, did you vote yet? Did you vote yet? You're like, I'm voting third party. They say, well, how could you vote third party? How could you do that? You could tell them you could not vote for a party that wants to increase our war efforts. People always relate to that. Tell them, we spent more money in Ukraine than we spent more money funding Ukraine than we spent funding Marines in this country. Yeah, we spent more money on Ukraine than we spent on our own military veterans here. And you don't even got to get into the 850 bases in 80 countries. Whatever. You ain't got to get into that. You could. 800 bases in 80 countries. You can just talk about Ukraine. All right, my name is Tim Black, guys. I love you. Tim at TimBlackTV.com. Send your hate mail to your mother's house at TimBlackTV.com. Also, don't forget my ebook, Kamala 8 Reasons.com is where you go get my free ebook. PresidentialImpact.com is where you get my other free ebook. If you ain't got stuff to read this week and you want to read something, 2 ebooks. What else? Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for sharing this show. Thank you for making this show relevant. I love you. I got nothing but love for you. I'll see you on the next one. Did I miss anybody? Thank you, Buck Bewley, for an amazing week, my brother. Thank you for doing what you do, bro. I appreciate you. Ice Cube rhymed and the Dodgers won. Today was a good day. Yay. That's it. I'm gone. Am I done? Thanks, guys, for supporting this show. I appreciate y'all. Much love to you. Hey, baby, where you at?